Abatacola and Ferrari discuss everything. With Matt Abatacola.
Son, your ego is writing checks your body can't cash.
I'm sorry I ruined your New Year's Eve party. She tastes like cigarettes.
And Jason Ferrari.
I'm very important. I have many leather-bound books, and my apartment smells of rich mahogany.
Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
Two complete nincompoops with microphones and access to the World Wide Web. Presented by Mickey Finn's Brewery in Libertyville, Lake County's oldest brew pub. Now, here are your hosts for this shit show, Abatacola and Ferrari.
Hello there, podcast friends, and welcome into another episode of Abatacola Ferrari Discuss Everything. That's right, it's the AFDE show. It's episode 29. It's called Rum Jug, and we're glad that you've decided to participate and download the program. We do appreciate your support. We, of course, are brought to you by our good friends at Mickey Finn's, 345 North Milwaukee Avenue in beautiful and historic downtown Libertyville. Check them out, mickeyfinnsbrewery.com. I saw a really cool, I want to be polite on this. I'm middle-aged, and they were slightly above me. Middle-aged band of 4 dudes and 2 women.
Like veteran rockers?
Yeah, and
rockers.
they were doing country music. And the 2 women were the lead singers.
It's been a while, but this is
this is not the one.
I
This
thought
was
the one we were prepping for.
No, this was one that
back a couple months
that
or a
country
month
band
ago.
was the one from Madison.
Oh yeah.
This
They're
was
good,
like
right?
They were great.
Yeah.
This was an unexpected kind
Totally
of
forgot about that.
pleasure walking into it. And so it was like 2 moms are the lead singers, and then you got the 4
Oh my God, I
other
totally
dudes.
forgot about
yeah,
that.
dude, it was really entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
So check them out, mickeyfinnsbrewery.com. They're on Twitter at Mickey Finn's, Facebook as well. The oldest brew pub in Illinois. Fantastic beer, delicious food. They're doing like happy hour, half price pizzas now, 3 to 6 Monday through Friday. Great beer they make right there on site.
You said the Killer Brunch.
Brunch is great. It's a fantastic place. Live entertainment every Friday and Saturday. So a really good place. We're glad to have them as
Are
our.
they still doing the? I remember the last time we recorded it was red and stout. I think.
Yeah.
Red and
So they're Irish beers that came out for March, obviously last year, but they're still out. Their 847 is back on tap now, which is a delicious beer. They use
read
that
about it on the website.
Yeah,
I have not had it yet.
It's really good. They use that as their beer back for their delicious Bloody Marys on their Sunday brunch. So check them out. Lots of live entertainment Fridays, Saturdays. Really good stuff. You can see what they have planned. Great food and really good people there. Mickey Finn's. This is the AFDE show. We're on Twitter as well at AFDE show, Facebook.com/AFDE show. And you can always email us afdeshow@gmail.com. He's Ferrari. I'm Abatacola, which makes sense because it's the Abatacola Ferrari Discuss Everything podcast. And that is what we do. It's been a little bit of time. We had a week off because of a work conference I was at. Last week, it just didn't work out. Other things popped up instead. Life stuff happens. And so we're back now, and we're glad that you're downloading episode 29 called Rum Jug. So why don't you kick us off and what's been happening lately?
Well, I mean, yeah, like it's 3 weeks, but it's pretty easy to do the 1 week because, as people know in life, weeks are weeks. Like, not a lot of memorable things happen. But last week, we brought our new puppy Payton to the vet.
Yep,
dude. This is crazy, right? So, like, I used to go to the vet every now and again with my parents' dogs, and rightfully so. You hate the fucking vet. Excuse me. You hate the vet. Same as, like, I don't want to go to the hospital.
Right.
I don't want to deal with that stuff. But, I mean, like, I've had problems with backs and all that stuff. But, I mean, you don't want to go. This dog, the only thing that, he went a little bit nutty about is just seeing other dogs.
Right.
Because he instantly wants to play. But otherwise, walked in, and they're like, this is the most chill dog we've ever seen. And this is before anything happened.
Okay.
And we haven't talked about this on the show yet, but Payton has, we got him with a bum wheel. His rear left leg, he has some problems, and we're working to fix it. But so when we went in for his checkup, he got x-rays where they had to basically put him upside down. They said and they took him away from us. We were in the room, took him out. He was just chill.
Yeah.
Just laid there. The whole physical chill. When we left, he got a shot. Chill. Unreal, man. So our dog is, kind of a badass, actually. Like, dealing with the bum wheel and just rocked the vet visit.
Yeah.
So that was super cool. And then Trish has been looking up lately dog-friendly bars, which is cool.
Which is your new places to hang out.
Well, basically, yeah.
That's great.
So there's a bar that's a little bit north of us in Rogers Park called Rogers Park Social.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but it was really cool. It reminds me of this bar that we used to go in Madison called the Mason. Very chill. They have like old couches and like a recliner. It's just like it's not divey. It's just like a lounge.
Sure.
Like a standard lounge.
But very dog friendly.
Yeah, but dog friendly. And we went in there, and there was one other dog who was super cool, and Payton, and oh god, now his name is escaping me. I think Harry. He was like a big English bulldog.
It's great.
Like big. But they got along. It was very cool, and it was fun. But that was like the reward for, hey, you were
Going
a
to
pro
the vet,
at the
right.
vet. Yeah.
It's like a kid going to the dentist, and then you take him somewhere
exactly.
special
No,
afterwards.
except or they just
going
get
for
like a
shot.
sticker
Yeah.
and a sucker,
Right.
and you move on. Mine was, I would ask my parents to take me to McDonald's. That's changed so much
For the Happy Meal.
Yeah, exactly.
They're eliminating the hamburger Happy Meal.
Like the burger completely, you mean?
Yeah, they're no longer providing a burger in the Happy Meal. It's only chicken nuggets now.
and
Yeah.
that's it?
That's it.
Nugget. Oh, look at you, bud.
You got a 4-piece nugget deal or a 6-piece nugget deal for Happy
Peyton is
Meal?
in the house. And
Yeah,
we're
Peyton's
gonna-
fine.
Yeah, he's good.
He can
man.
hang
He's
out
fine.
here. You got a little bone
Other than that,
hobbling along.
the squeak toy. Oh yeah, buddy. Yeah. All right. He's gonna chill in here with
Oh, there
us.
you go. That
Makes
works.
the show better. We got our guy.
So good. So yeah, you're gonna get his late taken care of. Dog bars are your new thing now, which is really funny. I think we should open up like a baby bar, a baby friendly bar.
I was all right. Ironic. Okay. I was telling Trish. That,
I would never be there, by the way. I would be
I don't
an
wanna do that
invisible
either. So,
partner.
but different.
I love babies, just not at bars.
Different time in life,
Yeah.
but I still find comedy writing to be entertaining. And years ago, my friend Joe Gustus and I wrote a screenplay, and it was basically about like a single guy's life. Like my life at the time was basically like what the storyline was. But so I knew people loosely through like other friends who would you actually had the ability. You could foster dogs, but I don't want to say rent, but you could literally go to this place and get a puppy
You could rent fish
for the day. Well, yeah.
Yeah, just not.
That's just the sad thing in Asia. But no, but you could go like get a puppy for the day. And I knew people who would go and do that purely to pick up girls.
Okay.
So when we were writing the
Fine.
screenplay,
Got no issue with that.
in my mind, I'm like, all right, yeah, we could write that, but it's already like a thing. I said, let's take it a step further. I'm like, let's make it babies.
Rent babies.
Yeah, so it was basically like, but you're like a nanny for the day,
Yeah.
and you would go to the park and pick up chicks.
That's a great
with
idea.
Babies, yeah.
Brilliant.
So that screenplay is not out, but I did reach out to Joe recently because Trish and I were talking. And I thought it would be funny because I wrote this like I could not have been more single and in like that place.
Sure.
I'm like, let's pick it up now. So it's like this hilarious evolution. And he's like, give me a pitch and then we'll do it. So I think we might do it.
I think we have the lead actor for it too, and Justin Ray could be our guy
Oh my
to do
God,
it.
you're totally right.
Yeah, he could totally do that.
Dude,
Yeah,
you're totally right.
That's our guy.
Because our concept for it was, the movie Waiting. Do you remember that movie? Have you ever seen that? All right, so
I may have.
it's like a swingers, an Office Space, kind of like that.
Okay.
But it's about people who work at like this restaurant that's basically like a Fridays.
Oh, okay.
Ryan Reynolds, the lead, and that's like.
Oh yeah.
at the
I
time,
know that. Yep.
He
I know what that
wasn't
is.
like a
Yes.
monster,
Yeah.
and like Joe and I were like,
Stud that he is now,
He's the
yeah.
lead. He's
See,
the lead.
Justin Ray would be the guy.
Yes, I agree.
He'd be our guy for it.
All right, cool. So anyway,
2 nights ago, Killer Donuts was on at like 11 o'clock. I was flipping through the channel guide, and there it was.
you got to stick around for a little bit
I
for our guy.
fell-
I know you
fell
can't
asleep.
do it.
I couldn't do it. I fell asleep. I watched enough, and talking to him made my viewing.
No, because every time I go through now Showtime Anytime
Time.
online,
Yeah.
No, I mean I just scroll through it and I was like, oh, yeah,
There it is.
That's our guy.
All right, so dog bar is your new thing. I think very cool. Trish told me all about it earlier. Very very cool thing. I'm inching closer and closer to the idea of having a dog.
I know.
For whatever reason it is, it's growing on me because you got one. The boys got a new dog at their mom's house, which is she's a wonderful dog, super cute, super friendly dog, and of course, our head of security at the Health Guardian, Gracie, our little watchdog, is my buddy. She gets so excited when I walk in the office. She does like circles. She's running on sprints, and I sit down at my desk, and she full speed running jumps on top of me. So
nice.
Yeah, no, yeah. She's
dude. Is that not like?
It is.
It's like such a welcoming.
It is very nice.
Yeah.
It's very because like no one else there acknowledges that I walk in, so it's nice that someone does.
You're at work.
Yeah, no one says anything except the dog gets excited.
You
right.
just reminded me of one thing about the dog.
Yeah.
So today I had a meeting, and everywhere we go that sells dog treats, Jewel, CVS, Walgreens, Dollar Store, it doesn't matter because now we have this little guy.
You buy him.
Right?
Yeah.
So today, before the meeting, I was early. I was wandering around. I went into a CVS to get an iced tea, and I'm like, I'm going to go to the pet aisle, And of course, Payton is currently eating one of the treats, and then I got one that's like a bag of dog bacon.
Oh, nice.
So I'm just excited for the dog.
That's what I do with like beef jerky or beef sticks, that kind of thing. Wherever
yourself?
I go, yeah, for myself. And if I see them anywhere in the store, I've got to get one. Like today, I went and got gas, and it's my rule. Whenever I go to the gas station, I've got to get
Aldi today and got what are those?
Oh, the turkey
jerky sticks.
Yeah.
Those are so good.
Yeah, it was great.
All right.
Yeah, that was a nice little treat we had there before recording episode 29,
and
the rum jug.
The cheese slicer from Williams Sonoma that we
there was
highly
brie
recommend.
and Havarti and turkey sticks and homemade nachos. It was a wonderful little treat here.
Boxed Pinot Grigio and boxed Stink Owl, Winking Owl, but I
Winking
call
Owl.
it Stink Owl from Aldi.
From the Aldi's.
$10, basically 4 bottles of wine.
My weeks have just been basically work. So the conference out in Tampa was really productive. They were like 12 to 13 hour days, so I did nothing outside, which was fine
that's how
because
those things work.
The weather sucked in Tampa the week I was there. February they had one of the warmest Februarys on history. We get out there March 19th, and it's like the high of like upper 60s, low 70s. It was terrible. Which was fine. I mean, better than here, obviously.
Terrible. 60s.
Yeah.
Suck it.
I got to see Terry for a little while, which was great.
Yeah.
Terry and I hung out for a couple hours on the resort. The resort I stayed at was called the Innisbrook. That was where the Valspar Championship, the PGA tournament, was just played 2 weeks before.
I've stayed there with my family, and we haven't talked about it. Now I know that place.
Yeah,
and they never change it.
Golf courses were amazing. The resort itself, it needs to be. It's a dump. It was not good. They're actually beginning a multi-million-dollar upgrade to every room, and they're going to have it finished by the end of this year, which it needs because it was not nice. It was like it was out of the early 80s, basically.
They're like dank rooms too. There's like
it was
the
a dump.
mugginess.
So it's really interesting. What's interesting about it? So the company that owns it and runs it, they don't own the condos. The condos are all owned by individuals.
Right. Well, they sold them off because they're not making cash.
And so some people live there, and then so you could be staying in a what you consider a hotel resort room, and your neighbors on both sides could be people that live there as like regular,
like full residence or timeshare.
That's all it is. So they're actually renovating all the condos. Even the homeowners are renovating all their condos. So they're going through the whole process. Food was really good. The service was great. The rooms were terrible. We had an issue checking in. They gave us the wrong room the first night, and it was kind of bad. But the conference was great. So that was 2 weeks ago. Then this past week has just been super busy. Work has been taking a lot of time. It's one of those things right now where you get up, do the kids, and then go to work all day. You might come home and do something, and then like I find myself doing work from like 9 to 11 o'clock at night. Sometimes midnight, but that's where it's at right now. So that's fine. But more importantly, though, I have been able to watch some new things. So I've got 2 weeks.
Hold on, though. Gotta get.
Let's get into that. Yeah,
get to something.
Yeah. Do it.
So let's see. Today is April 5th.
April 5th. All day.
I think anyone who listens to us who has a desire to start doing this, because in all honesty, it's super fun, man. It's hard, and I think some people approach it the wrong way, but Matt and I launched on April 1st a business called The Pod Team. Nice, simple website, thepodteam.com, and it is a consulting business that will help you launch your pod. So there's a base package, which is kind of like from scratch. You have a concept and nothing else, and it explains exactly how to do it, how to go about it, all those things. And then there's a custom for some, maybe you have it or you already know certain things. But anyway, it's thepodteam.com. You'll see more about it on Twitter. Super pumped about it. Any of our listeners who want to get rolling with a podcast, it's difficult, but it's cool, and we'll help you do it.
And the expense to get started isn't too great. And I tell you right now, the work getting into it, the research that Jason did to get us up and running, I think you researched pretty much everything that was available. And so if it is something
6-7 months,
if it's something you are interested in, that we're gonna get you in the right direction to be the most efficient and get you running, get you off the ground as quickly as possible, because this guy researched everything that's out there, and we use what's best to use to do something like this. So we're gonna get you going in the proper fashion. It'll be quickly to do. So check out thepodteam.com, and you will see more about it on social media and hear about it as well during the program. This episode number 29 is called The Rum Jug. And remember, thepodteam.com. If you've had a dream or a vision of doing a radio show or a podcast, everyone in the world now is putting a podcast out. Yeah. And there is no reason why, if you want to, that you cannot do it. It is a lot of work. It is hard, but it's not impossible to get started, and we can certainly get you going in the right direction. So thepodteam.com.
Sidebar from that, it's interesting. I remember being in radio, 2 times. When we graduated, and then I jumped back in around 2010, and I remember talking to people, and this was just about social media. It wasn't podcasting yet, but it was like, I'm telling you guys, like, digital is going to be the future.
Right.
And I would tell people, and people are like, nah, terrestrial, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you look at Twitter, just people we follow, I mean, like, Score people, people from the Sun-Times, people from the Tribune, like, everyone is doing a podcast. But it's starting right now, and I've been telling, like, come on.
I heard a commercial the other day on the Score, and it was for an NBA player, I think maybe with the Trailblazers. He and a sports writer started a podcast that's coming out. I think it launches tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's like everybody's doing a podcast, and it's out there for you, and the ability to do it. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need to have a certain degree to do it. And the beauty of the Pod Team and the podteam.com is we'll get you started, and it'll be very simple for you just to follow what we've learned and what Jason has researched and learned.
What not to do,
exactly.
And how to make it sound good.
Yeah.
We may be idiots, but fundamentally, it's the way to go.
And basically, the things that we've experimented with and had to work through, you won't have to. That's the beauty of it. So it's really that simple. So give it a try. And really, we have 2 great sponsors on the show, and we haven't put as much effort as we can or will into getting more sponsors, but there's sponsors out there, man. If you want to do something, there are people that are going to love your content and going to want to get behind it. So it's out there for you. Check out thepodteam.com. All right, things we watch, because I'm excited about getting into something here.
Okay, let's go.
So I watched I, Tonya. Chris and I watched it. My desire to do it wasn't that great, but I was like, whatever. I'll give it a shot. It was Allison Janney, our girl from The West Wing, won an Oscar.
So good,
and she was incredible. And it was a really entertaining. I thought it was well written. It was well done. It was creative in the way they did it. It kept you going the entire time.
The Winter Soldier is in it.
I never had a moment where I faded away from it. I was bored with it or distracted. I thought it was great.
Great writing.
I thought it was really, really
better
good.
Better execution.
Yeah, thought it was really good.
Outstanding movie. Agreed.
And I tell you, Margot Robbie,
she can't be ugly.
From Wolf of Wall Street to playing Joker's girlfriend. What's her name? Harley Quinn. I didn't know she had those kind of acting chops in her, and she was great. Yeah. Absolutely unbelievable. And if you kind of might have like a naughty thing for Allison Janney, like I kind of do, this puts a different spin on it, where she's like the trailer trash, smokes a pack of Marlboros, really foul mouth kind of.
Yeah, but
something you want to experience once.
But then she's like an older lady smoke show on the award shows.
No,
right?
She is. But it's like it brings it around to a different element.
What's interesting though,
it feeds like a dirty, naughty, like icky side a little bit. It's great.
So Matt and I were talking about this before the show, but I didn't know. We were younger. We did not know the backstory at all. You just heard about. Okay.
I mean, I remember it very well. That's the dog.
Right. The dog.
Right.
But no, other than Tonya Harding's good. She's skating against Nancy Kerrigan, and the thing happened.
Yeah.
And then the after effects, right? Like anything that happened after, leading up to it, I don't know. But then you see, and I actually don't like to use this term, but I mean it really is like kind of white trash,
no, absolutely,
just a background, and coming away from that, and the amount of I don't want to say prejudice, but just the lack of positivity in terms of propelling her career because of her look.
No, dude,
Purely her look.
She became one of the best figure skaters
She was
in the world.
Badass.
In the world, yeah, and she did not get the same acceptance by
Because
the
of
skating world because she
her
was
look.
yeah. She was not from a wealthy, rich
And
family.
she made her own.
Yeah. So
All right.
No, it was a
as
really
usual
good movie.
on this show. We're gonna spoil the
It's
shit
fine.
out of it.
If
No.
you're gonna see it, you've seen
No,
it by now.
It is,
I don't care.
But it's, I don't know. I don't
Really
care
well
who you
done.
are.
Just gotta
very
see it.
well
Yeah.
done. Very interesting. And I'm glad Allison won because her and her parrot were outstanding
great.
in the movie.
We binge watched the first 7 episodes or 6 episodes, whatever they're at now, whatever last Sunday's was of Homeland.
Right.
So we're caught up on that.
So
and,
that's not on our. I didn't write it on the rundown, but I got back in.
You got back into Homeland.
Back in.
Yeah.
So
you just finished season 4.
Yeah, Matt and I used to text back and forth because I'm like, oh man, this is so good. But I went through. I'm not gonna lie, a little Brody depression.
Yeah.
And he's gone. I was a little bummed, but I got back in, and oh god, yeah, I flew through 4.
Yep.
I know it's at 7, and I'll get there.
I stayed with it the whole time, and this has been a great season. The first couple episodes were a little slow, but it's really, really well done, and it's great. It's really good. So enjoying that. And then I watched a movie on Netflix, and it's my guy Adam Devine, Thumper from the Pitch Perfect movies.
The one with Boobs McGee.
It's called Game Over, man. And he and his 2 buddies work at a hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I haven't watched it. I see it.
So encouraged when I saw it because I'm like, I love that guy, and he's, we've communicated on Twitter. I love him, and it was not a good movie. Like I actually shut off about halfway through. There was a scene where he's naked, and it was way too much of him.
Frontal.
Yes, way too much.
Okay.
Like. Dude, it was like I was telling Joe Dredge about it because I told him because he loves Adam Devine like I do, and I'm like, "Have you watched Game Over, man?" And he was like, "I haven't yet." And he goes, "I was gonna watch it over the weekend," and I'm like, "You might want to skip it." I'm like, "He's naked." There's one scene in particular where it's really aggressive. I mean, I referred to it in our text conversation.
All right, what does aggressively naked mean?
Borderline porn, and
all right,
yeah, and so Joe,
so like erect dong.
His response was, "Well, I was going to watch it this weekend. It just moved up to tonight's viewing."
Yeah.
So of course,
Can't wait
that's
for
my guy, Joe.
The boners.
So Joe watched, and he texted me. He was like, "I watched it." He goes, "Yeah, it was not good. It was real. I was so disappointed because I love that guy, and yeah, it just was not what I wanted it to be." But,
well, you know what's unfortunate?
Yeah, dude, there was a close up of it, and it's
what's unfortunate is
it's a bit much. Like, okay, in forgetting Sarah Marshall, you get frontal in there, and it's fine. Like it goes with the flow of it. This was overkill. I think they deliberately went.
Oh yeah.
Like they drew a line. They ran past it.
I think
then they drew another
just
line, and then they jumped over it. Yeah,
they get complacent, And what's unfortunate is it's a funny dude. But,
he's the best. I love him.
Right, but
can
you
Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates?
Right.
I've watched it 12 times.
And Pitch Perfect.
Oh,
seems
yeah,
hilarious.
He's unbelievable.
But just the thing with. I feel like movies kind of force people.
Yeah.
And he's like a super funny guy. But if it's a dog shit script or if it's bad, like it's unfortunate because then you're like, ugh.
It's a Netflix original.
But people are right. I know, and they're spending a lot of money on movies now.
Everything like half the stuff on the menu on Netflix is Netflix original, whether it's a series or.
What is up with the damn autoplay?
Yeah.
God, I hate that shit.
Yeah.
So, man, I'm sorry. I'm a little fired up. Matt and I had a conversation about work stuff earlier, and my brain is still amped.
Yeah, but like you
I'm
have
so
to.
annoyed with that.
I'm actually quick on the trigger. I can avoid it.
Oh no,
I get past it
because I do it on the computer and I scroll down.
I get past it. Yeah, but the other day it happened and started playing. I'm like, what? I didn't do this. I didn't do that. So that annoys me. And then when Netflix judges you for watching too long, that annoys me too.
I always think that's funny.
Like, hey, lazy bastard.
No, because
I'll wake
up in the morning and it's like, hey, you've watched the entire series. No, I passed out.
Are you
7
still
hours
watching?
ago. Yeah.
So Game Over, man, Homeland, I, Tanya. I don't think there's anything else new that I've watched. I can't recall. I did finish the Seinfeld, the coffee, the comedians, and I've actually gone back and watched a couple of them.
Me too.
Multiple times.
I still do that because they're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Michael Richards one I really enjoyed. Gary Shandling, Kevin Hart, I thought was really funny. Bill Burr was great. I love Bill Burr.
Oh, yeah. With
So
the cigars?
funny. So yeah,
Yeah.
really good.
Interesting segue.
I'm getting a shoe shine here.
Yeah, one of the things I watched, I don't know if you've watched it yet, but on HBO, it's called The Zen Diaries of Gary Shandling.
I have not.
And it's basically, it's beginning a career to, his sudden passing.
Yeah.
Such a funny guy, but I mean, this is an excellent documentary. Judd Apatow put it together. They were really, really good friends, and it's just, it's called Zen Diaries because he literally chronicled before his career to the end of his career.
Okay.
And he's not necessarily like self-deprecating, but very, very honest in his writing. And and you see it, and it's like, focus on this, and this, like very simplistic things. And then he does that. And then if he doesn't accomplish that, then he doesn't like tear himself apart, but he'll be like, be better. Like, and literally, like, Judd Apatow read through these things because, Shandling family provided it. It's excellent. There are 2 parts. It's probably about 4 hours, so it's an investment, but it's worth it. It is so good, and I've always thought he was funny because actually, think about this. When we were younger, like younger, back in the day when like Johnny Carson would work Monday through Thursday. He negotiated it. I didn't know this until watching his documentary.
Yeah.
But he would work, and then there would be various hosts. So it'd be Joan Rivers, Jay Leno later on.
Yeah.
But Shandling did a ton, and I remember him so much because I'm like, that's the guy with the weird lips. Like, I just remember him from those shows.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up too because that's when Joan Rivers, I think, was at her best. I thought she was great. She was really, really good when she was filling on the Tonight Show, and then things kind of went off the rails for me as a fan.
But do you know why?
No.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't know why.
So the Johnny Carson documentary is available on Amazon Prime, and it explains that she was basically like the default host when he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And then she signed on to do a show with Fox and didn't tell Johnny, and Johnny was like, that's it. That's it. That's why I never saw her again.
Oh, well, I
Spoiler
was
again?
referring to when she got totally weird with the fashion stuff, and it just got
yeah, but then she
crazy
turned
and-
into a wax statue
Like a
face.
character,
but that's like
yeah,
that's so way later.
Yeah, but she's
she's
great.
very funny.
Great on the Tonight Show.
Agreed.
She's fantastic. All right, what else did you watch?
Uh,
This I'm interested in this one, the middle one there. That's
Okay, but the first one. So I sent Matt a text because I don't. There are several shows that I know they're great, but when you miss them at the time, and then all of a sudden there's 7 seasons.
Right.
I don't just jump in. Never watched The Shield in my life. Started watching it.
you sent me a text.
Yeah,
Asked me about it.
and you said top 5, and when you say that, I'm like, okay.
Yep.
So I've been watching that and like staggering it with other things, but I like it so far.
great.
I like it a lot.
Michael Chiklis.
He's such a jackass, but but he's like a good jackass.
Vic Mackey?
Oh yeah,
Right?
Vic. Yes,
Yeah.
Vic.
Great. I thought it's a great show. I mean, just a really great show. And that's where I met my guy Walt Goggins, who I absolutely love Walt Goggins.
Justified
Yeah.
was so good in Justified.
Yeah,
he's
so
just good.
That's where I first saw him in The Shield, and I just thought it was a fantastic
He's
series.
such a douche in the
Really
Shield,
good
but it's
series.
like,
Yeah.
but in a good way.
Really
if
good
that
series.
makes sense. The middle one you're talking about, Looming.
And he's actually been involved in 3 of my favorite series of all time: The Shield, Justified, which was unbelievable, and he played a male cross-dressing character in Sons of Anarchy,
I didn't watch that
and
one.
played a significant role in the later seasons. And he was unbelievable. Any question about his acting ability? He destroys.
I feel
it.
like he's
Just
a good
destroys
actor,
it.
and then his giant teeth are also a good actor. Dude has giant.
I told you I met him, right?
Giant. No. you didn't.
Super Bowl 04, 05, wherever we were. He and the blonde-haired guy in The Shield. So
the
there's
guy
Vic
with
Mackey.
the guy who basically looks like a boy band.
Yeah,
the boy band.
I
guy.
can't remember his name though.
Yeah, I
really
can't
good
either.
actor.
But rides around on a motorcycle. And
yeah,
kicks
and so
people's
him
asses.
and Walt Goggins and Michael Chiklis are the 3.
Yeah.
So those 2 dudes are like walking down the aisle, the hallway, as we're in whatever Super Bowl we were. We were
The aisle.
We
it
were
was
either
at a Shield wedding.
Yeah, we were in either Houston or Jacksonville.
Probably Jacksonville.
And I saw him, and I freaked out because I'm like, holy crap, the Shield guys.
Yeah,
and
it's huge.
I knew Terry would love it right away because he was a Shield guy, and I went up to him and I was like, hey, introduce myself from Chicago radio, blah blah. Huge fans of the Shield, if you guys have a chance anytime today to come on, we'll do it right now. Could not have
All
been...
three of them?
No, Chickless wasn't there.
Oh.
It was just those two. Could not have been nicer. Absolutely, unbelievably, two of the nicest guys I've ever met.
That's great.
It was unbelievable, and I was like, all right. It's probably why I love the series even more, because
doesn't that
like,
make
they
them
were
so much
great. They were great.
It makes actors, musicians, any celebrities. It makes it so much better when they're just like, yeah, cool.
The guy that was with him, name is John Solberg, and he is an executive still with FX today, where the Shield ran.
Okay.
He was with them. That guy, this guy is a big shot in TV. Again, treated us like we were doing him a favor. I got his cell phone, email. I've communicated with him over the years, throughout the years of the show.
I feel as though it's time to communicate with him again.
I know, but it's just they were great. So that was one of the highlights of 16 years doing it was meeting those guys. They were unbelievable.
Dude, that's a great story. I never heard that.
Yeah, I forgot. I can't believe I forgot to tell you that.
Well, in 16 years, you honestly think I know everything that you've done?
You know what it was? It was in 04 in Houston because I saw Walt Goggins again in 05. That's right, dude. Now it's all coming back to me. We had him on 2 years in a row at Super Bowl shows, and he actually remembered us the next year. When I went up to him and talked to him again, I'm like, he's like, no, Chicago. So yeah, we had him on 2 years in a row.
You're memorable because you look like me. That's just what it is.
Yeah. So meeting Walt Goggins.
If anyone, this is a video show, the look on his face was priceless.
Meeting Walt Goggins and meeting The Rock and getting the half handshake, half hug thing from The Rock. Life was downhill from there.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. So the middle one.
Yeah. Yeah, they were talking about this.
All right.
I didn't even hear about it.
If anyone doesn't have Hulu, honestly, it's Hulu. It's $8.99.
It's the Jewish channel.
Whatever. Hulu. Yeah, exactly. Hulu. No. So Hulu actually has some really good original programming original programming as well. And this show's called The Looming Tower
of Pisa.
Actually, I probably wouldn't watch that show. But this one, Jeff Daniels is like one of the... Jesus. Hold on.
Jeff Daniels.
Ready?
Just start again.
The Looming Tower.
Starring?
Jeff Daniels is one of the leads. But the whole premise of the show is... I'm sure people remember after 9/11, the court cases that came out and the actual filings that came out. What was it called? The 9/11 filings, I think, something along those lines. But
makes sense.
The entire thing was about the lack of collaboration between government agencies.
Right.
So this is leading up to 9/11 and the lack of collaboration between the FBI and the CIA. And I think it's Peter Sarsgaard.
Peter Sarsgaard.
Yeah, it's Peter Sarsgaard is the guy in the CIA, and Jeff Daniels is the guy at the FBI.
And what character is Jeff Daniels?
Daniels?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll find him later. I think he's an extra who cleans the bathrooms, actually. Somehow Jeff Daniels is a janitor. Custodial engineer.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. So, but it's really interesting because right now, there are 8 episodes available.
Okay.
And in episode 8, they are at the point, I don't care about spoilers, where the people who fly the planes into the building are training.
Okay. All right, and this is on Hulu only. Okay, I don't have Hulu.
No, I'm going to... on the show, everybody, I am giving Matt my password.
All right, so I can watch it on my laptop computer?
So good,
okay.
yes.
All right, then that's what I'll do.
So good.
That's what I'll do.
So, yeah, and we already talked about Zen Diary, so that's what we watched.
All right, good stuff. I mean, that's the beauty of it is that we get to tell you some things that maybe you wouldn't watch or never even heard of. I never even heard of Looming Tower. Did you mention this guy here yet or no? Did you thank him for?
Didn't. Neither of us did.
Yeah, Nate, a listener, sent us a really lengthy and very kind email about the show and actually highlighted the things we watch segment as stuff that you might not catch on to or might not know.
He jumps on board.
Yeah, so good.
Thank
stuff.
you, Nate.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Nate.
Nate, thanks for the email. Appreciate you listening to the show. This is episode 29. It's called Rum Jug. And
so we're chucking.
Yeah.
We're chucking
just for this week.
The sports report and moderately paced because there's a lot of cool
good
new
stories
stuff.
to get into. Yeah.
I'm going to pull them up.
Yeah, you do that. You pull them up, and then we'll get into those. So we'll get back into moderately paced questions and what's going on in this NFL offseason. Baseball season started too, but I'm not quite into it yet to talk about on the show. So we have other things to do.
Started about
So here's other. Yeah, I know you love baseball season. So here's other interesting stories happening right now.
So we don't even.
go ahead.
This is one. We can do headlines, and we can do the gist.
We can do headlines and then get into it a tiny bit. Yeah.
This is our Fox anchor.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Laura Ingraham.
Yeah. Who just took shots at the leader, I guess, if you call him that, or someone who is just very excited about the student rebellion.
Sorry.
Yes,
dog.
the dog is. Yeah, the dog is like,
fell.
I want to be here.
I almost fell. Sorry, buddy.
Basically, it's David Hogg, Hogg, yeah, who caused Fox News. Well, no, he didn't. Excuse me, she did. They lost, at this point when we pulled up the article, 11 sponsors, most of them being major sponsors.
Right. So he put he had talking about not being accepted at I think 3 or 4 different colleges, and she decided that she would put a tweet out about him and whining about not getting into these schools.
Accepted.
Right. So it definitely unnecessary. Now I didn't know a whole lot of background on Laura Ingraham. She's apparently had several run-ins and some controversies prior to this. Completely unnecessary. Just like Ted Nugent, who recently went after the kids who survived the Parkland shooting.
Comparing
just like unbelievable.
Laura Ingraham and Ted Nugent.
What benefit do you get out of any kind of negative point about high school students who were shot at and had friends who died in a school shooting?
Right.
You can support the NRA and you can misinterpret the Second Amendment all you want and think it's about, the government wants to take my guns away and these left-wing liberals are trying to take all my guns. If you want to be that delusional and that stupid, that's your right. That's fine. Go ahead. That's your God-given right in this country. But to have any kind of negative thoughts about kids who survived a high school school shooting is absolutely unbelievably ridiculous.
You know what takes it to the next level, though? What's a perfect high school GPA?
Is it 4.0?
4,
right? Yeah. I thought it was a trick question.
No.
What was it? No. I mean, I was in school in the
4.1
late 80s and 90s. Okay.
He took accelerated classes and has a 4.1 and got denied by UCLA. But who cares what reason?
Right.
He has a better than perfect GPA.
Yeah, so she tweeted out, David Hogg rejected by 4 colleges to which he applied and whines about it. So, here's the thing, though. It's it's one thing to say something.
Hold on.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry. What?
With 4.1 GPA, so she mentions the fact, totally predictable giving acceptance rates. What? Yeah. What the hell does that have to do? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's fine. What? No, that's fine. No, that's important to add in there. It's like if you're doing an interview and you're Ted Nugent and you're a psycho and fine, But to be an anchor on Fox News, you are first of all an alien from another planet, but then secondly, to sit down with your smartphone or a computer and to type that out and then to deliberately choose to hit the send button or tweet button.
Well, our president does that.
Right. Oh man, well he's a lunatic. So it's just and so it's what a coincidence. She took off the next week for Holy Week.
Right.
Okay. After multiple controversies, you get sat down with
Look at his response. Right. Just basically like a bashful face saying tweet away.
Yeah, tweet away. So he tweeted
and
out.
And then these are Laura Ingram's
at top advertisers. So pick one and tweet them.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's just it's a battle that you're not going to win when you want to verbally and publicly attack students who survived a school shooting. I mean, let me repeat that for you one more time, okay? Because I don't think people get the gist of what she did and what others are doing. It's a losing battle if you're going to verbally and publicly attack students who survived a school shooting. I mean, this isn't an entitled white kid who complained about the lunch menu at his high school in Beverly Hills. These are kids who survived a school shooting, who saw their friends and classmates shot and killed in their classrooms. And you decide as an adult, because of your political beliefs, that you want to publicly attack school students who were shot at and survived. What planet are you from?
But it's also not...
What benefit do you gain?
You would think.
The psychos that follow you are going to follow you. What benefit do you gain by attacking students who were shot at? All you're going to do is the fringe psychos on the right side are going to be like, that was a bit too much for me even.
You would think, though, that attack would happen if someone, let's say, minutes or hours after it is interviewed for it, and then they rip them apart. No, this is actually something that we've talked about on previous shows, but like people who are creating an actual movement.
Right.
This is in response to kids who we've been taking shots at, me too, saying, God, I'm a little worried about our
The future of this
generation.
country, and they're lazy, and they're addicted to technology.
This is impressive.
Right.
And this is like creating, what is it, million plus people movements in different cities for various reasons. Like, what an asshole. Like, seriously, this response is just the most ignorant
good word for,
and pointless response.
The other side of it, the other argument there is well, it's not about guns. Why don't you kids go up and befriend someone who doesn't have any friends? I mean, if to find any kind of negative angle about what these kids are doing, you just are a soulless devil creature, and you don't deserve to be on this planet. Period. And that's what it is.
And somehow you've just tasked a 15, 16-year-old child to become someone who can diagnose mental problems.
Right.
Like, you just, while you're dealing with all your other teenage stuff, you're an expert on that.
Any adult, and I've seen people on Facebook and other social media that have made that point. It's not about going after the guns. It's about befriending someone who doesn't have any friends. Okay, I want to ask you, adult who put that on social media, what were you like in high school?
Yeah, were you
doing that? Were you finding the fat kid who sat alone in the lunchroom and befriending that kid? No, you know what? It's don't do what I did. Just do what I'm telling you to do. How about both?
Yeah.
How about, hey, you know
Practice
what?
what you preach. It's so annoying.
How about I'm going to team up with you?
Frustrating.
I'm going to team up with you to get the guns, and let's do a better job at befriending kids that don't have friends. How about both? Why is it one or the other?
Exactly.
Why is so narrow-minded and hateful over what these kids are doing?
Inclusion and get rid of the guns.
Right. Let's be better at being inclusive and get rid of assault rifles.
Yeah.
Semi-automatic,
no, but the
fully
fact
automatic. Leave the guns alone. Just be a better friend. Screw you.
No, but
How about both?
We talked about it on the last show.
And you know what? And let me
it's
ask you
always
the question.
a distraction.
And the adults. Okay, listen. Most of the adults out there that are talking about this, complaining about it,
sometimes we consider ourselves that.
Have jobs.
Yep.
And if you don't have jobs, maybe if you're fortunate to be a stay-at-home parent, you have people in your inner circle, in your neighborhood, in your community. Do you befriend those people that don't have all the friends? Are you doing that for other adults in your life that don't have the same amount of friends as you do? No, but you want to criticize and crap all over these kids for wanting to take guns out of people's hands. But it's like, oh no, why don't you be a better job being a better friend? Are you doing that to the adults in your life? Are you walking past homeless people in need and ignoring them? Are you doing that for people in your community? Or you just want to pass judgment on these kids who are trying to make a difference in the world today, more than you've ever done in your life?
Guns. What are you guys talking about? Guns.
Right.
Like, that's all it is.
Right.
That's all it is.
it's very frustrating.
But
you know what, Laura Ingram, I'm glad you enjoyed your week off for the Holy Week.
A hiatus for Holy Week.
Right. It's called you got benched because you're an idiot.
Moving on. I thought this was hilarious because I've read some stories over the years. As you know, we've talked about in the show.
Something happens every year.
I love draft coverage. Love it. And actually, when I read this, usually the way sports stories are kind of pitched, it's always like when you read the headline, you think it's going to be like the worst thing.
Right.
As you read this story, it's so good.
Well, there was the one kid this year that was asked if he likes men.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Do you remember what's his name?
Somebody was asked about their mom being a prostitute, maybe, or something like that.
Well, yeah, that was a couple years ago. But the guy who got drafted by this
NFL team.
Yeah. No, but you know what I'm talking about. Mateo.
Oh,
Manti Te'o.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
Manti Te'o. Jesus. Hey, I word merged. At least I pulled it together.
That was my Spanish name, Mateo.
At least I pulled it together.
Senor
right.
Mateo.
No, but I mean, that was the entire talk about why he wouldn't be drafted, which is like the dumbest thing, right? But I love this. An NFL coach asks draft prospects what they'd do if he punched them in the face. No, but so we don't need to go through the whole story.
No,
but
just
so
the headlines off.
This guy from Ohio State rolled in, and he was interviewed after the combine. And because every year they say, what are some of the weirdest things you've been asked during interviews? And so this coach, we don't know who he's with, but I think it's hilarious because all he's looking for is someone to say, I would punch you in the face back.
Right.
Instead of some like guy who'd be like, I would look at the situation and think about it. Like, so at the very end of the article, the coach just says, all I want is for these guys to be like, you punch me in the face?
I'm going to
punch you back immediately.
Right.
Immediately. And those are the guys who get, whoa.
That's a good
Wow,
one.
that's
That's
the
a
loudest
gong
one
show.
ever.
Yeah.
Woo! But yeah, I just find that to be hilarious.
That's great.
Because if you can imagine the questions that get asked of these guys.
Right.
Go up on the board, diagnose plays, all that stuff. This is his first question. This kid from Ohio State sits down. So my first question to you is, if I were to stand up and punch you in the face, what would you do?
Right.
I kind of want that to be normal job interviews.
I would want someone to say either I'd punch you back, or I think the best response would be bleed.
I would open hand slap you and then mock you as you fall.
What would you do if I punched you in the face? Bleed.
Bleed.
Okay.
Fall down.
Thank you. Right.
Cry. Fetal position. Cry.
All right. What else? What else we got?
All
You got
right.
another one or no?
This is the one
There's
I was
one more.
talking about.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is.
So Interview Magazine has what I think is like a very brilliant idea. They just pull random personalities together, and they did. I read some backup stories on this.
Yeah.
They didn't actually just do like comedian random. They just picked people that they thought would be hilarious together.
Okay.
And it ended up being Will Ferrell interviewing Joaquin Phoenix.
Okay.
Obviously, Will funny, Joaquin odd to say the least. Great actor, but odd.
Yeah.
There are many, many, many questions. We don't need to go through all of them, but the link is wait. Oh, so it's actually an interview.com article, but I pulled up the vulture.com and they put the whole article up. But here, as Matt will read them, I'll pull some of them out.
Yeah, pull them up there. So Will Ferrell interviews Joaquin Phoenix. So Joaquin Phoenix, did you know that it's Valentine's Day? Will Ferrell, I did. I'm going to a group Valentine's Day dinner with my wife and 4 other friends. Phoenix, that sounds awful. Can I ask you a question? What is Valentine's Day? Will Ferrell, in your personal life, are you sometimes a little bitch? And Phoenix says, be more specific. Ferrell says, can you get a little bitchy if you're in a bad mood? Phoenix says, definitely. That's great.
All right. So Vulture moves some stuff around, but as I read the actual interview, the reason that he got to the little bitch part was he said, hey, so I watched you in The Gladiator. You're really good, but your character was a little bitch. And then he parlayed into, are you a little bitch in life, basically.
Let me do this one.
I love this one.
Will Ferrell, well, next year I'll invite you to watch the Super Bowl. And Phoenix says, you don't have to. And Ferrell says, you don't even have to watch it. And Phoenix says, I'm trying to do this thing where I'm being honest with people. I don't want to come, but I'd love to come over and check out your bananas sometime. That's great. I think we covered all the pertinent topics. I think we should have ended it in the beginning. Ferrell to his wife. Oh, hello. Phoenix, this is so effing unprofessional. I can't believe you're doing this. Come here, honey. Come here. That's great. Very funny. So I like that. So they've done more than just this.
But yeah, go to interview.com
Okay.
and on the front page is the Ferrell interviews Joaquin Phoenix article, and it's super, super funny. There's probably about 15 more question responses, but
Yeah.
they're going to do a series of this where they just find
good.
randos and put them together.
I can't remember what this is called, where you have these articles below. What is that called?
Clickbait.
Clickbait.
Yep.
I see this one at least 4 times a day.
She's on everything.
At least 4 times a day.
This
I
girl.
see that. Yeah.
I've never clicked on
the
it, but
headline
she has
is
nice boobs.
Oh, I've clicked on it. She has no idea why the crowd started to cheer, and it's a very attractive woman and very voluptuous.
No, but you click through 75 things.
It's got
and
nothing to
she's
do with
never
her,
on
right?
It.
It's got, so
no, but that's the one. I know.
yeah.
She's always
It's
on it.
4 times a day. I see
You're
it.
right.
4 times a
Yep.
day.
All right.
And
Oh,
God
yeah.
bless America.
That wasn't as
It's a
bad.
good one. What else we got
so
here?
This one, it's because it's a
Oh, yeah,
video.
yeah.
It's harder to. Oh no, actually, we get a little bit of stuff.
Yeah, no, there's a story.
Okay, here, let me. All right. So the headline is, and I read this several times in the last 3 weeks, and I'm just like, this is such a good story. The headline is Teenage Accepted by All 20 Ranked Universities He Applied to with Full Scholarships.
Right.
20. So there's a video of him getting all pumped up.
20 top-ranked schools he applied to, full scholarships he got accepted. So high school senior from Houston, Texas was accepted by each of the 20 top-ranked universities to which he applied. He was offered a full scholarship to every single one of them. Michael Brown, a 17-year-old student at Lamar High School. The video went viral after he was caught on camera screaming in glee upon learning he was accepted into Stanford University in December. Little did the teen know at the time, his excitement would increase by a factor of 20 in March when he was also accepted into Harvard, Princeton, Yale, the University of Pennsylvania, Georgetown, Northwestern, Vanderbilt, the University of Michigan, among other prestigious colleges. Good for him.
Wow.
Yeah, that's great. But what did it take for Brown to pull off his flawless clean sweep? To start, the high schooler has an impressive 4.68 grade point average.
Dude, that means he took like 2 years of college classes.
And an SAT score of 1540 out of 1600. His ACT score, 34 out of possible 36.
Yeah, that wasn't mine.
Proved to be just as excellent. Brown's extracurriculars also include various internships as well as participation in his high school's debate team. His mother told the New York Times that she was simply blown away by her son's perfect streak. He actually earned it. I always knew Mike would get into a good school. Always knew he'd get scholarship support, but I never imagined this. So good for him.
20.
That's great.
And obviously by that list, he wasn't like applying to, the
Illinois Center for Broadcasting.
No. What's in
Huntington?
What's in A Few Good Men? I'm going to end up at the Earl something for
Rocco's.
Rocco's School for Typewriting Maintenance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, what a badass. That's a great story.
Good for him. Yeah. So a 4.68, a 1540 ACT, and a 1540 SAT, and a 34.
Hey,
yeah.
I had a 25.
Yeah.
And I thought I was a badass.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, so something a little different. There was some great stories we wanted to... Oh, you want to share this?
No, that and my cousin Jeremy, who's like
final.
our satellite producer, sent an item that is actually on the Amazon shopping list. It is a cereal called Poop Like a Champion. The tagline is Ultra Fiber Cereal. So if you clearly want to poop like a champion, you can actually buy this on Amazon.
Yeah, 16 total grams of fiber, now with 6 grams of soluble fiber. New soy-free, gluten-free.
What I like is everywhere you look, it's like fiber. Here's some fiber. Here's some other fiber. So basically, you're going to take this and put a diaper on and ride the rail.
Right. It's just freshly cut lawn clippings. Poop like a champion.
All right, so that's where we're
at. All right, so that wraps up segment 1 for us. A little different today with some stories, a couple weeks being apart. This is episode 29. It's called The Rum Jug, and we are the AFDE show. It's Batacola Ferrari Discuss Everything podcast. We're brought to you by Mickey Finn's. Check them out at mickeyfinnsbrewery.com.
Why don't you give me half the money you were going to bet? Then we'll go out back, I'll kick you in the nuts, and we'll call it a day.
All right, welcome back in. It's episode 29, Rum Jug. It's Batacola Ferrari Discuss Everything, and you can follow us on social media. We got a Facebook page you can like, or on Twitter at AFD Show. Email us, afdshow@gmail.com. We're brought to you by Mickey Finn's Brewery. They're located at 345 North Milwaukee Avenue in Libertyville. MickeyFinnsBrewery.com. So my mom and her almost, soon-to-be husband, they're on their way right now, driving to Vegas. They left yesterday.
They're driving?
Oh yeah, because they're going to spend time in Arizona.
I thought
then
they were doing
California.
it after their drive. I thought you meant they were going to get married in. Okay.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay.
So they're driving to Vegas. They're gonna get married hopefully by Elvis. So I told her just to keep me posted as they're driving, and so they're in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And
that's really kind of fun.
Yeah, and she says, this is the text that I just received from her. I haven't looked at my phone in a while, so this was an hour and a half ago. She said, I put my phone out the window to get a signal, and the wind blew it out of my hand.
Oh, no, the phone. Wait.
Yep.
Yes.
I put my phone out the window to get a signal, and the wind blew it out of my hand. We were doing 75 or 80. My case is beat up. Ha.
Well, I'll tell you what. Good case, Mom. Good case. The phone blew out of her hand, and it's still functioning.
Unbelievable.
Well done.
I mean, you're doing 80 down the highway, so who thinks this is a good idea? I'm going to stick my hand out the window as a 77-year-old woman.
Well,
it's not like she has the tightest
you
grip in the
realize
world
that
anymore.
People think that they're carrying cordless phone, and you would go outside in the backyard like, am I getting a better signal?
Right.
She's literally hanging it out the 2 feet away.
Because
I'm going to get a better one.
Because his Chevy Cruze is like a steel bunker that doesn't allow any signals
Wait,
to come
that's what
through.
you have, right?
Right, he has one too.
Nice.
And so she stuck her phone out the window while they were going 80 down the highway, and the wind blew it out of her.
Case held up.
Well,
the fact that they found it is more impressive than the actually.
Like, I wonder if he slammed the brakes where like the rear wheels came up.
And they were just walking around with I don't know, some kind of a mag light.
So that's
Probably not.
actually, I gotta talk to her and see what kind of case she has, because that's a free case.
I think
waiting
we
to
all
happen
should get
for
those
some
cases.
Advertising there
Seriously.
on Twitter. Yeah. All right. So the first thing we do in segment 2 of all the AFDE shows, and this is episode 29, Rum Jug. We have a segment called That's So Wisconsin. We try to bring to you a story that centers around the great state of Wisconsin. It could be in Wisconsin, could be someone from Wisconsin. But That's So Wisconsin is brought to you by Will's Northwoods Inn. They're at 3030 North Racine in the Lakeview area. WillsNorthwoodsInn.com. Daily specials, trivia night on Tuesdays, and Packerpalooza is coming up end of April.
Oh my God, it's this month.
Yeah, April 28th
Yes.
is Packerpalooza. So go check them out, WillsNorthwoodsInn.com.
We
for
now
ticket
have
info, information.
Seven friends who are accompanying
Oh, there we
us.
go.
Yeah.
So you can check them out online at WillsNorthwoodsInn.com to see about tickets for Packerpalooza, as well as the former Packer players and current players that will be there. So That's So Wisconsin.
And
yeah,
I'm working on, and it's going to happen, anyone who mentions the show getting a special, if it's not on the tickets, something when we're there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Maybe a tall boy of your favorite beer.
Yeah, I'm sorry if the special is you get a $2 Schlitz handed to you, or you're welcome. You're welcome.
Sounds appropriate for mentioning the AFDE show.
Really, yeah, I was gonna say one of the morons on that show just loves $2. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
All right, so That's So Wisconsin, and our story today takes us up to the state of Wisconsin and the current governor.
So one of the things that we agreed to, myself and the general manager of Will's, was we'll do funny stuff. We'll do poignant stuff. We'll do things that happen that are random. There are fringe cities, people who are from Wisconsin doing things like being attacked by bears in Florida, and sometimes negative. And this is one of those things because this guy is a nut job. Yep. Scott Walker is trying to dismantle democracy in Wisconsin.
This is from thenation.com where we're reading the story, but you could find this story anywhere.
All right. And this happened 2 weeks ago.
So when a judge ordered Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker to stop messing with democracy and arrange for special elections to be held for a pair of vacant state legislative seats, that should have been the end of the governor's lawless scheme to leave 229,000 plus people living in those districts unrepresented for almost a year. Jesus. Everyone had figured out that Walker was up to fearful. What he was up to, fearful that special elections might see Democrats elected in Wisconsin's historically Republican 1st State Senate District and its 42nd State Assembly District. Walker had simply refused to call the elections after the seats were vacant last year. The judge said last week that the governor was in the wrong, referring to the arguments made by Walker's lawyers as inconsistent, incompatible, and irreconcilable. Dane County Circuit Court Judge Joanne Reynolds explained, to state the obvious, if the plaintiffs have a right to vote for the representatives, they must have an election to do so.
Yes.
So
200 plus thousand people.
Right.
Yeah.
Unrepresented in the two districts, and rather than possibly losing those normally Republican seats to Democrats, he does not want to have special elections and prevent that from happening for over a year. That is. Man, you know what? It's something that just goes in the flow of the trickle down theory of you have garbage at the top, it just trickles down into the government, and when you see your president, the top man in your political party, behave the way he does, you just feel this license to be lawless and do whatever it is you wish, because you see the president do it. So why can't I, just the mere governor of a state, do something?
Well, also in the loss of a crucial state. Wisconsin is a huge state.
Doesn't matter. We've seen elections happen over the last couple months, and that you've seen Democrats get voted into heavily Republican things. It's these midterms and this year, later this year, it's going to be a reckoning for the Republican Party, and it will be for 2020. I just pray to God that whoever the Democrats put out in 2020 is someone that is worth voting for, and not just because they're the lesser of two evils.
God, I want Bernie. I want him to come back.
All right,
I want a crabby old guy just killing it.
That's So Wisconsin, brought to you by Will's Northwoods Inn. Check them out at willsnorthwoodsinn.com. Packerpalooza, April 28th, coming up a few Saturdays from now. So we get you into news you need to know. Now, these are probably stories you haven't seen, stories you don't know, but we believe that you should know them in news you should know.
Oh, man. It's been a couple of weeks since I put this together last week, and I forgot about this one.
Wow.
The headline is Drunk Woman Arrested After Fondling the Easter Bunny, Ohio Police Say.
An Ohio woman who appeared to be intoxicated was arrested over the weekend after witnesses say she got lewd with the Easter Bunny. It happened when families were having their pictures taken with a giant furry rabbit at that's what they call this thing. The Richland Carousel Park in Mansfield, Ohio, when LaDonna Hewitt, 54, who lives in Mansfield, took her turn in Mr. Bunny's lap. Things got a little interesting. Witnesses told the police that Hewitt looked drunk. Wow.
Okay, so a 54-year-old lady.
Oh, here we go. In the video
Oh, shit, I'm
captured.
sorry.
No, that's all right.
No,
Did you click out of it?
Yes, I did.
Sorry.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine.
No.
I thought it was the end of the article, but,
No, but
it gave us. I think it gave us some details of what she did.
For Christ's sakes. Sorry.
No, that's fine. You can go back to it. Just look it up. You can do the old
right.
Google search machine and
this,
find a woman who
do
fondles
this,
the
and then
woman.
I'll get
Yeah.
back.
All right. So here's another story from, of course, the Mirror. Jason's favorite everything. Yeah. Here's the headline: Mom. That's mom for you Americans. Mom of 4 turned placenta into a smoothie and fed it to her husband and 3-year-old son. Okay. I know that this is a thing.
I know.
Where women take their placentas and they bring it to someone and
I thought they normally just
they have it put in,
ingested themselves though.
No, they do. They have it made into like capsules or whatnot, and then they take them.
Ugh.
So she should be in jail. So mom took the placenta and made a smoothie out of it and then gave it to her husband, 3-year-old son, for the health benefits. Jay Woodall, 33, had always dreamed of repurposing her placenta. Well, okay, first of all,
what?
Listen.
Who dreams of repurposing your placenta?
If that's your life's dream, your life needs to be reevaluated. I'm sorry. Yeah. She missed the opportunity with the first 2. By the time she had her 2 most recent children, she found a solution. She paid €30 for her raw placenta to be turned into smoothies, and everything left over was dehydrated and turned into pills, costing a further €150. And there's a picture of her in her living room.
Did,
natural
birth, yeah.
Yep, in her living room in a blow-up pool. This is her.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't realize it wasn't. Not that it matters, but yes, it is definitely like an inflatable
That's
pool.
like a Toys R Us $30 pool.
Yeah.
Her naked body with her newborn baby in a beach towel on her belly. Jay said it's a mixed reaction. A few people think it's a bit gross, not very appetizing. Yep. There are some people who think about it and are interested and ask questions about it. I've had some people listen to what I say, and they do it themselves as well. People are grossed out. Some people are interested.
We can end with the quote.
Yeah, do it. Do it for yourself.
No, but that last quote.
I don't care. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, and it's my body. I'm the one who looks into stuff, and I make my own mind in whatever I do.
I will agree with that quote on so many levels, and I don't disagree with this. It's just
take it
odd,
yourself.
Right? It's
take
just
it yourself.
Odd. Just odd.
Take it yourself. I mean, that's fine.
It's odd.
If you want to, drop your kid out of your, in the middle of a pool in your living room, that's your choice too. Wow. All right. So
this one, I am not going to lie. I am always excited for dumb criminals.
Yeah.
This is the first time that anyone on this show, well, there are 2 of us, have seen something live.
So
this is the first live dumb criminal.
I didn't need to find a story for it because it happened yesterday at McDonald's. I met my buddy Dan Barnes, Big Dan, who was Johnny Something, intern for me. He went to the Illinois Center for Broadcasting. We actually enrolled him in the program.
Really?
Yeah, and then
nice.
we became pals, and I got him an internship on the show, and we became buds, and we're still buds to this day. Good dude. So he had Terry's book, and I brought it down to Florida with me. Terry signed it for him. So I had it yesterday at the office, and he said, let's meet up, and I'll get my book back. We can catch up for a few. And I didn't have a ton of time, so there was a McDonald's about 5 minutes from my office. It just came out. It was the first thing in my brain. I said, let's just go there. We can meet up. He's like, that's great, So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, a loud commotion breaks out. There's a woman at the counter who apparently had ordered oatmeal, and she did not like the consistency of the oatmeal she had received. So instead of going back up to the McDonald's, the counter, and saying, this just isn't right, would you mind remaking it because it's not to my liking, she decided to throw a fit. And she
Did they
actually
respond
well
to the this isn't? And
They-
there's no way she
they-
said this is not to my liking.
no. I said instead of doing that, she went up
just went up
full
and
of
whipped
rage
it?
and anger.
Okay.
And within seconds of screaming, without having a conversation, she threw the oatmeal over the counter. To which that point, the manager of the restaurant called the police. And she was not at all deterred by that, nor was she deterred. She encouraged the calling of the police because she wanted to be right there to meet the police and to explain what had happened to her because she was treated unfairly and she was being treated poorly because it was a race issue.
Subpar oatmeal.
Because she was black.
I get that, but
And that's what she was saying.
I just wanted to repeat the subpar oatmeal part.
No one in the restaurant was treating her properly because she was black. I took an inventory of people, and hey, that happens.
Well,
racism is still alive and well. It's in the White House right now. But I don't think that was the case. The employees behind the counter, when I'd ordered and checked it out during the altercation, were Hispanic. The woman in McDonald's now, when you order food to eat in, they give you a table number and they bring your food out to you, so you don't have to sit and wait. The woman who brought the food was Indian or Pakistani. The only white person I saw working there was the manager on the phone who was calling the police, who didn't want to call the police, but she was encouraging the police to come. And so we were there until the police came, and the officer escorted her outside to have the conversation. And she was insane over watered down oatmeal. And instead of just asking for it to be re-prepared,
she whipped it across.
She threw it across the counter. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if she hit anybody or not, but yeah. Not sure what would have happened if if it was that coach from Ohio State and he got whipped. He would have whipped the big
you just
bat
have
back at her.
but you have a historical story of oatmeal shrapnel.
Yeah. So that's this week's Dumb Criminals, where it's really just not necessary. Just walk up to the counter and just say,
that's more like we can change this week's segment to unnecessary. Maybe not even a criminal, but the police were involved.
Unnecessary stupidity.
Really unnecessary whipping of oatmeal.
I mean, have you ever gone to a fast food restaurant, including McDonald's, and your order wasn't right?
Well,
you go up to them and you say, "Hey, this isn't what I wanted."
Funny thing is, generally, I'm too lazy to go back, so I just eat it. Like when if I go to McDonald's and order oatmeal,
Well, I've done
this
it.
is an odd thing.
I've done
my oatmeal.
I've done it once where I had a cheeseburger and the top bun was really hard, and so I just went to the counter and I'm like, this bun it's really hard. Something's wrong with it. Okay, well, we make a new one. Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, yeah, if you don't
make
whip
me a new
it
one
across the counter, they just do it.
Make me a new one.
They might
Perfect.
spit
Thank
in it,
you.
but
So,
whatever. It's not hard anymore.
That's Dumb Criminal. But thanks for the entertainment there. That was very interesting. I appreciate that.
Or if you don't mind tilting the monitor,
sure.
so I can read these fine things.
From Dumb Criminals, we bring you into Dumb Apps, and this is where Jason finds 2 real downloadable apps for your smartphones, and these are things that actually exist. You're welcome because they do make your life better. Remember, email us, afdshow@gmail.com. Let us know how the dumb apps we provide you actually improve your life.
Okay. First app is named Passion. That moment.
That moment.
Yeah, I just word merged without even wanting to. That romantic moment of the night when you're about to get down to it. Just all this. When you're about to get down to it with your partner and your other half turns to you and says, "Hey, if we only had a way to rate how good our sex is." Well, now you can. Now I feel it. Yes, now it's going to be an infomercial. Well, now you can. Passion is an app that gives you an accurate score as to how you performed in bed. It rates you from 0 to 10 in areas such as duration, orgasm, and activity, so you can know at the end just how much of a stud you are. Not kidding on the app page. Warning, people who introduce this app into the bedroom risk never having sex again. Wow. Okay. So, if you're thinking of, actually that would kind of sum up our society today, though. Like you're having sex and you're like, hold, I have an app.
You could just look at the reaction.
Yep. All right. Yeah. Or instinct. Or, hey, I like this sex.
Or ask.
Let me tell you a question. No, how do you... This is like the kitchen one when you're putting the meat on it for weight. Yeah. All right. Please. No, I love this.
Turns your smartphone into a scale.
0 to 10 in areas such as duration, orgasm, and activity. Cool then. All
well,
right.
I give you a 9 because during the middle of it, you made hot dogs
Right.
over an open fire.
No,
So,
and I'm going to give you a 1 because you pulled out an app,
yeah.
a phone with an app.
I'm actually going to leave now.
Yep.
Because you're on an app.
Okay, the
All right.
next one falls into the category of holy shit, why are you so sad? And I believe you alluded to the Rent-A-Fish earlier in the broadcast. It's called Fake Call. If you're a bit of a loner, Fake Call can help you justify carrying a smartphone.
Wow.
Using this app, you can initiate fake calls and texts to yourself. You can even sorry. You can even pre-record your own voice to make it sound as though you are talking to someone else. Wow. According to the developer, Fake Call is useful for getting yourself out of awkward situations, parentheses, but to successfully pull off that one, you'll need to know in advance at what time you'll want to escape and schedule the fake call. Which, I mean, that last part, okay, the first part, pathetic, right? But the last part, again, how in the hell is that possible? It's not. Like, how do you... Your phone is going to anticipate when you're going to require the fake call that you've made to yourself?
Maybe there's a way to set it up where you're going to be... maybe this loner goes to their parents' house for dinner and they want to schedule the dinner's at 7. So maybe they're in the app, you can schedule a call to come in at 7:15. And so your phone rings and you have a pre-recorded your own voice.
Of you.
Yeah, hello. Hey, John. Oh, hey, Bill. Oh, what happened at work? Mom, I got to go. So maybe there's a way in the app to schedule it. So that's...
your life has hit a special level when you have fake call calling yourself at your parents' house.
Right. So that's Dumb Apps. And that was Passion and Fake Call are the names of the 2 apps. These are actual downloadable apps for your smartphone. You're welcome once again. You can email us. Let us know how these have changed your life. That is the end of segment 2. This is episode 29. It's called Rum Jug. It's Batacola Ferrari Discuss Everything. We're brought to you by Mickey Finn's, 345 North Milwaukee Avenue in beautiful and historic downtown Libertyville.
We got no food. We got no jobs. Our pets' heads are falling off.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment of episode 29. It's Rum Jug, a Batacola Ferrari Discuss Everything. We're brought to you by Mickey Finn's. Check them out, mickeyfinsbrewery.com. Great food, fantastic beer, and incredible people. Live entertainment every weekend. You can find out their schedule on Facebook or mickeyfinsbrewery.com, their new and improved website as well. We start off with the best tweets of the week. These come to you from the Twitter handles of accounts that we follow at AFDE Show. You should follow us as well. So the first one comes to us from our good friends at The Onion.
Yeah. I've made no mistake about my fear of sharks on this show. And this is report sharks to only kill 10 people this year, but one of them will be you. It's so bad. I don't want anyone to die of a shark attack, but it's like, all right, come on, you're bait. Just
very funny.
Moving on.
Always good stuff from The Onion. Always a great Twitter follow at The Onion.
I thought you would appreciate this one.
Yeah.
And it actually has continued for like the last 2 weeks. But the tweet says the number of breweries operating in the U.S. of 2017, according to the new stats from at Brewer... Jesus, I'm sorry, I had a little heartburn. At Brewers Association, 6,266. Matt, read the growth from the years.
And this is from Josh Noel. You can follow him at... what?
Hop Note. No, he's at Hop Notes.
Yes.
He's at Hop Notes. I've been following him for years.
It looked different.
Yeah. It's at Hop Notes.
Hop Notes. So yeah, a great guy. Writes for the Tribune, beer and a travel writer for the Chicago Tribune. A great Twitter follow too as well. He has always got fantastic beers for you to take a look at.
But he's super funny.
So at the end of 2017, as you mentioned, 6,200 brewers operating in the U.S. Last year. So in 2016,
this is crazy.
5,301 in 2015. I'm just going to go back by the years.
Yeah, just
4,548, 3,780, 2,952, 2,475, 2,047, 1813, 1653, 1574, 1511, 1460, and in 2005, the U.S. ended with small breweries operating in the U.S. in 2005 at 1,447. So you fast forward 12 years, and there are now 6,266 breweries operating in the U.S. I think it's a great thing.
So and I'm a little I'm a little less into it, but as someone who loves microbrews, do you find that this is oversaturated only because are you ever going to have any of the, you know what I mean? Like, I'm always curious how people, because I know you love it, but it's like, how do you even ever try these?
I don't think it is at all. And what's great about it is that they're popping up in communities and big cities, small communities all over the United States, which is great. Anything where, small businesses want to start out, I encourage it. But the beauty of this industry is this. It's not competitive. Now, of course, they all want to be the best. They all want to make money. But there's collaboration.
No, they're a brotherhood.
There's collaboration between small breweries that works together that makes it one of a unique type of operating industries within the United States. I think it's great. On top of that, you take a guy like my guy Dave, who runs the craft beer store and owns it in Libertyville. It's a great place. He's a great guy. It's a great business. You give a guy like that an opportunity to bring all these brewers together from all over the country. Now in Libertyville, I can sample something from northern Wisconsin, from Maine, from Texas, from New Mexico that I wouldn't be able to have otherwise. I think it's fantastic. And
it's just more of a natural curiosity.
Yeah, just the mere fact that there's collaboration among these brewers is what's great. I think it's great.
What's nice is having kind of like a firsthand look at it because Patty Long's obviously I don't want to say I grew up, but like I moved into the apartment across the street when they became a thing, and now they're a big deal.
Right.
But they introduced me to craft brewers, and I tire on it on and off because drinking it, I'm like full and I feel like crap sometimes. Sometimes you just need to have like a light beer.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's amazing the growth. I just remember in 2007, they Patty Long's organized a trip to Three Floyds.
Okay.
We did a bus trip. We went out there, and Three Floyds had like 3 beers. But they were like super cool. You went through the brewery tour. They gave you all these beers. On the way back, you're like, oh boy, you're super handsome and hammered because it's like 19% the jug that they gave you. But now, that's why I asked the question about oversaturation. But I don't think that's the case. But I know you love it so much, so I was just curious about your
and I
take.
think one of the other great things about it too is all the craft beer fests that are popping up all over the country. Again, you have collaborative efforts there.
I like that they combine them with food.
Yeah, no, it's just,
it makes sense to me.
I think it's great.
It's
I think
like
it's
wine,
really
right?
So
it's like wine pairings, like beer and food pairings.
And
make so much sense to me.
What you're seeing is a lot of barbecue places and beer fest coming together. So it's really good.
And cheese.
So we move on to another one from the Onion at the Onion. This is great.
Okay, yeah, I know. I sent this to you 2 weeks ago, but I just found it funny. McDonald's announces new spearmint after dinner Big Mac. So it's that can't be good.
Green lettuce, green sauce, green patties, or green buns.
Does that make you a little like
white cheese and a gray burger in the middle? Yeah, it
your
just
stomach's like
good.
a little up. Yeah, that's not good. All right.
So after you finish off your Grand Mac, you can finish it off with a spearmint after dinner Big Mac to freshen up your breath.
So I know. And I don't care. People hate this guy so much. I like him. So
it's Michael Moore, and he's at MM Flint.
Yeah, and he's at MM Flint because he's from Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
And he firsthand saw. All right, we don't need to get into this. But so Michael Moore. This was actually as our fine young friends were leading the anti-gun movement across the country. I'd say at least one. Okay, first of all, let's do this. He's totally taken a shot at the inauguration comment, which I appreciate. But anyway, I'd say at least 1 million people in the streets of D.C. Historic. This photo doesn't even show the full breadth of it. Thank you, Parkland students and kids everywhere. You have made it clear to the adults. Either join us or get out of the way. We are here and we are coming. I love it. I don't care that it's from him and you hate that guy. I hope that's real.
Yeah.
Honestly. God, sorry.
So that's Michael Moore at MM Flint, and then the last one's from your guy.
Well, no, but don't you? I know you have thoughts on this.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic, and I don't have any. I have zero feelings on Michael Moore. I don't hate him. I don't love him.
No, I just meant the commentary, not the person.
Yeah, no. I think it's dude. You know how I feel about what the kids are doing.
Okay, and I love this guy so much. I don't care if you love him or if you hate him. I love Bernie Sanders. He is the man. And follow him on Twitter if you don't like him, if you do like him, because he is smart and he's on it. It's quotes. The entire purpose of this is to lower middle class taxes, Paul Ryan. Primarily and priority number one is middle class Americans, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. The theme behind this bill is to get middle class tax relief, Mitch McConnell. What he's talking about is Donald Trump's bill to basically reinvigorate someone which is not renewable energy. And it's just
right. And
the
so
stupidity of this is unparalleled.
Yeah, the articles that follow the quotes you have, it's inside the tax bill's $25 billion oil company bonanza. So yeah, if you're still delusional enough to think that his tax bill was to help the middle class, then you'd rather go through life with your head in the sand, and that's fine. That's your choice. It's your choice to be uninformed. So congratulations. So after our best tweets of the week, that takes us into this day in history. And for us today, it is...
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. For us today, it is April 5th, 2018. So we'll take you into the first of three stories for this day in history. Again, for us, it is April 5th. And our first story that we will bring to you for this day in history, if you are a rock fan, rocker of the 90s, this will be a significant event for you because it was April 5th, 1994 that, go ahead.
Kurt Cobain commits suicide. Honestly, this was like a big deal for me, but not, it's not like one of those things where, okay, someone I've never met in my entire life, killed himself and my life is over, like that kind of thing. But at the same time, for those of you who appreciate a music movement, this was it. And Nirvana was one of the ones who were at the forefront of that, changing kind of 80s rock, which is still my favorite thing, but I actually, was in my formative music years. Nirvana was huge. All these bands were huge, and obviously the dude had demons, and he killed himself in 1994. And I remember feeling, that was the first time in my entire life that a celebrity death actually affected me, because the music affected me so much. It changed the dynamic of everything I listened to and everything I believed in music. And when he did that, I was like, whoa, I had never experienced any kind of suicide on that kind of level before.
Yeah, so it was significant in the fact that because Nirvana and that kind of music wasn't my thing in the early '90s. But as someone who appreciates music and what he accomplished and what Nirvana did in the early '90s for what they called grunge music, and out of the Northwest in our country in Seattle. So his body was found in his home 3 days after he committed suicide by an electrician who was there to install a new security system. So really just a terrible event, and it is sad by the way it went down that he was found 3 days later by someone who was paid to be there to do some work.
It's just one of those things where I think everybody aspires to. They would love to be a celebrity, but I don't think they understand like celebrities' demons.
Yeah,
and that guy was.
And then you mix in alcohol and drugs, and
it just when you're
pollutes where you're at.
I think people react a little differently to being at the top of their game, and that's how he reacted. So let's pivot to something that's actually super cool and not depressing.
Yeah, and I remember this April 5th. I don't remember it being this day, but I remember this.
Well,
happening
I remember watching it with
5th,
my dad.
1984. I was 11 years old, and this is when.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar breaks the point record.
Yeah, so it was 84. He scored his 31,420th point of his career, breaking the NBA's all-time scoring record, which had been held by Wilt Chamberlain. So very cool. I remember that happening. I just saw last week on the Charlotte Hornets a current player. Gosh, now his name is totally, of course, escaped my brain.
I don't know.
Yeah, he became the leading scorer in their franchise history, passing up Steph Curry's dad, Del Curry. And I turned the game on and watched the fourth quarter, and it was really exciting to watch. His teammates gave him the ball every possession, went down in the fourth quarter, and he did it late in the fourth quarter. Really, really cool event. But yeah, I remember this. I was 11 years old, and Wilt Chamberlain, he falls into second place behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who scored the point to go ahead on April 5th, 1984. And our last story, April 5th, 1955.
All right. This is crazy because you've now watched the movie.
Yeah.
And so you understand Winston Churchill's involvement in helping to ease and get soldiers out of harm's way. Okay. This is what's craziest to me. In 1955, Winston Churchill resigns. So anyone who pays attention, honestly, in 1915, that's when he began his career in politics. 1915. He retired in 1955. Like, we don't need to go through all this. I can do it for us. He negotiated and figured out a way for our soldiers to get out of harm's way during World War II. But he started his career during World War I. He actually went through 1955, but that was not the end of his political career. He actually continued on in Parliament till 1974.
Wow.
So please look up Winston Churchill. What's the name of the movie?
Darkest Hour.
Yes, Darkest Hour. Unbelievable. But read about this guy's career, because if you don't think that anyone in England actually ever helped us out, there's no one who helped us out more. From 1915 through 1974 in political office.
Well, I mean, it's America's closest ally, and it's great what's happening in the White House
and
now.
he was like the world's greatest ally.
Doing what they can in the White House to make that relationship strained, like most relationships we have in the world. So congratulations to that, White House. So that was April 5th, 1955. Winston Churchill resigns. Continues on, though, to 1974. So his political career ran from 1915 to 1974. His political career began in World War I. His political career ended a year after I was born.
Right. Well, 1974, is that when that's when Nixon was in office? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because that was right at the end of the Vietnam.
That's so crazy. All right. This is my favorite story. I actually looked up other ones because we've been kind of off for a couple of weeks. This is the greatest story. I couldn't find another one. So the headline is: Guy runs marathon with a new heart. Young organ donor's dad shows up to cheer him on.
Yeah, it's been 2 years since John Dickow endured a massive heart attack that left him in dire need of a new organ. At the same time, 22-year-old Adam Preshaw passed away following a severe seizure, and Dickow received his heart. Thanks to a successful operation and recovery, John was able to run his first marathon since the surgery, and Adam's father, Rick, showed up to cheer him on.
So crazy.
When John crossed the finish line, Preshaw Sr. was there to greet him with a hug, clapping and cheering for the accomplishment of the man who was thriving with his son's heart. It was just like watching my kid in a hockey game. He told the news, seeing John just living and choosing life all because of Adam's gift meant the world to us.
That story makes me so happy.
Yeah, I saw a similar story. This was really, really cool. A dad of the heart donor, again, young child, donated the heart. An older gentleman received the heart. The dad rode his bike like 2,000 miles to go and see the guy, and then
wait, what? What?
Yeah, the father of the heart donor. So his young son passed away.
Got it.
Middle-aged guy got the heart. The father, as a tribute to it, rode his bike like 2,000 miles to go
cross country.
Yeah, to go see the guy.
Oh my God.
When he finally got to him, they was waiting for him, and there was a group obviously waiting. Had a stethoscope, and he goes up to him, and they greet each other, and he gives it to him, and he says, "Do you want to listen to your son's heart?" Yeah, and I lost at that point, so I was like, yeah, very, very cool.
With everything that's going on,
which just
I'm so glad that we end our shows with this, because are you kidding me?
Just as an encouragement point for you, if you're not an organ donor, become an organ donor. If make sure you talk to your loved ones or your most significant person in your life. Make sure they know what your wishes would be at your time of passing, so that the appropriate things take place. You just don't know what can be harvested and salvaged from a body in a terrible time like that for one family that could benefit dozens and dozens of other families with different organs being donated.
When you first got your license,
I always did. I've always have been.
Right. Okay, you're answering my question, but I remember, I passed the driving test, I did all the stuff, and they asked, "Are you going to be an organ donor?"
Yeah.
And I'm not stupid. Like, I understood the concept, but I said, well, what does this mean? And they're like, if you were to pass away and you have organs that are able to be harvested for someone else, like, they go to them. I said, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I remember people online who was like, I don't know. And I was always confused by that. And that's fine.
Doesn't
It's
make any
fine.
sense.
But yeah, I mean, we're talking about like early 90s, like barely 80s.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and
like
certainly
when I went to
now
Wisconsin,
today,
I did the same thing.
Right, with the way technology has advanced and medical science has improved, and the things that they can do, and what can be harvested and used to help benefit so many people. So definitely, think about it if you have never had before, and consider doing it if you're not now. But if you are an organ donor, it's a great gift you can pass on after you're gone. So we do encourage you to do that. And we got one more story to do, right? Want to do that one about the kid and the Avengers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's right.
Sorry. For some reason, stories that I've had open for the last 4 hours just don't like to materialize. Okay. So basically there was someone, and we'll get into his details, and I don't have them memorized, but basically there was a young guy who was super pumped up about the Avengers and was just not in a good place. He was, he was close to passing, and he wanted, if anything, the Avengers to be a part of his life.
Shoot the headline up, and then I'll read through the story.
I just don't have my glasses on because I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. All right. Chris Evans and Ryan Reynolds assemble to help make a terminally ill child's dream come true.
All right. So Earth's Mightiest Heroes will be teaming up just about every Marvel Cinematic Universe do-gooder in this April's Avengers Infinity War. Before the saga arrives in theaters, however, a couple of the company's most famous superheroes were among those who used their superpowers for good fortune by making a dying boy's wishes come true. So here's what happened. So Sunday, Fox News anchor Shannon Bream tweeted a request for help getting in touch with the members of the Avengers as the young boy could realize his dreams. Shannon Bream, at Shannon Bream, need your help, Twitterverse, trying to help a young boy who is dying. He probably has days, and all he wants is a greeting from one of the Avengers. If you have a celeb connection, please let me know. Otherwise, you can help out with a retweet. Thank you in advance. The internet, of course, came through. Retweeting messages over 22,000 times. And then here's what happened. Chris Evans, you know him as Captain America, at Chris Evans, he replied to Shannon Bream, happy to, ! DM me. Then later on, you get a reply from Ryan Reynolds, who is at Van City Reynolds, who is a great Twitter follow. He says in his reply, I'm more of a, quote, reserve Avenger, end quote, but happy to help out, DM me. So the altruistic commitment of Evans and Reynolds to brightening a sick child's spirits is nothing short of inspiring, and it's in keeping with the Marvel crew's outstanding long history using their superheroic clout for noble purposes. Back in 2015, as a consequence of a Super Bowl bet, Evans donated his Captain America suit and brought along star Lord himself, Chris Pratt, to visit Seattle's children's hospitals. After that, Pratt stopped by the Crystal Cancer Charity in Boston dressed as Guardians of the Galaxy leader. The same year, a young boy received a new bionic 3D printed arm designed to resemble Iron Man's own arm. And more than that, Robert Downey Jr. was at the event, and there's a picture and a video of it. So he gets each 3D printed robotic arm that looks like Iron Man's arm. And
both
Iron Man is there.
Both of the stars are there.
All
great. Three. All
that's
three.
Great.
And
then boy who received Avengers greetings thanks to Shannon Bream dies at the age of 11. So the boy who was battling cancer received several video greetings from the star's Marvel Avengers. After Fox News anchor Shannon Bream arranged to make his wish come true, passed away on Wednesday. The Fox News host tweeted that the 11-year-old named Emilio had passed away. Twitterverse, young Emilio has lost his fight. Thank you for thousands who pitched in so that he could hear from some of the heroes in his last days. You lift up his spirits, his hospital room, and you blessed his family. Emilio's simple request launched an avalanche of goodness and miracles, Bream tweeted. So, obviously he was terminal going into it. She knew the urgency that was there. Great response from Ryan Reynolds and Chris Evans to help out there.
And Downey. Here's something that's, God, I don't want to say interesting, but so, I've been working in social media and digital strategy for a long time. And I don't think people understand the actual power of good that it can have. It usually is, we found something about someone and it's breaking news and all this stuff, but like hearing about this and doing this is like super cool. And, back in when I first started this, I work with athletes like Charles Tillman, people who celebrities who just care about people. And it's so impressive and so inspiring to see people who do this. And the fact that this kid, made an effect on someone in the media who reached out to basically just their audience, not the actual celebrities.
Right.
And through that, the celebrities found it and acted on it. In a society where social media is kind of killing us, this is an example of social media really helping us, and it makes me happy. It's just fun to see. I'm glad it happens.
Well, I think right now when you look at it, there's two sides to it. You see the empty, narrow-minded thinking of the White House, and it trickles on down to the supporters and the use of Twitter in combating having actual, genuine, real news reporting take place. The flip side of that is the actual reporting that's taking place and uncovering the lies that the White House is trying to cover up and hide.
Celebrities,
but seeing celebrities do something like this,
responding
is
to it organically.
Yeah.
They're not being reached out to.
Right.
They find this organically, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. So of course, a terrible ending for an 11-year-old, but just really, props to Chris Evans, Ryan Reynolds, other celebrities who don't get recognized like this, who do things like this on a regular basis.
Yeah, and they don't want to.
Athletes
they don't
who
want to
do
be
stuff
recognized.
like that.
They just do it.
Yeah.
Good for them. God bless them.
All right, so that's the end of episode 29. It's called Rum Jug. We thank you for downloading and being a part of the show. It's Batacola Ferrari. Discuss everything. Again, email us, afdeshow@gmail.com. We're on Facebook, also on Twitter @AFDE We're brought to you by Mickey Finn's, MickeyFinnsBrewery.com. They're our presenting sponsor. They're on Twitter @MickeyFinns. And big thanks to our friends at Will's Northwoods Inn, willsnorthwoodsinn.com, 3030 North Racine in Lakeview. So on behalf of Finn's and Will's, Jason, I'm Matt. This is Batacola Ferrari Discuss Everything podcast. We will see you next time for episode 30.